Wires and power cable is one of the product lines contributed greatly to the industrial production value of Vietnam. Currently, there are over 200 companies producing and exporting wires and power cables in Vietnam. Among them, most are large-scale foreign invested companies or joint ventures with modern production lines. The presence of German companies in Vietnam in the field of power cables such as Nycov, Knil also shows great potential for cooperation, since Germany is one country that has an advantage in this field. The export value of electrical wire and cable industry of Vietnam in 2013 was over $678 million and nearly $784 million in 2014, increased by 15.56%. In the first 4 months of 2015, export value has reached nearly $273 million, which is a 23.1% increase over the same period last year. With substantial development, wires and power cable is forecasted to become one of the key industrial sectors of Vietnam and attract foreign investment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 NetViet. Power cable industry is being one of the most potential fields for partnering between Vietnam and Germany companies. So let's find out in the talk today with the Deputy Chief Representative of the German Industry and Commerce, Mr. Kolowski, and he will share with us more about the potential of this field. Being one agency that have worked with Vietnam many years in supporting the industrial manufacturing, what are your comments about the value of industrial manufacturing of Vietnam at the moment?
Yeah, we have the feeling that this is a very strongly developing market. Yeah, we have many manufacturing companies here in Vietnam. You are right now on a stage where metal processing is really strong, and we expect the next big step in the manufacturing industry will be electronics. Yeah.
And what are your views specifically about the potential of the power cable industry in Vietnam?
I learned that the wire and cable industry is a hidden industry. Yeah? It is everywhere. Let's say also in this wire for this microphone, there's cables in it. Yeah. So now you already have a strong base, mostly foreign invested, but we expect that with the developing electronics sector, we will see also a very strong development in the cable industry in the future. Yeah.
Currently, there are more than 200 businesses working in manufacturing and exporting in power cable of Vietnam. However, most of them are joint ventures or all 100% foreign capitalized. So what are the challenges that the Vietnamese companies may have to face while operating in this field?
Yeah, for most Vietnamese companies, this industry is kind of new, so the building up of know-how might be the biggest challenge for them. Today we will have the seminar here in Hanoi, which is one way to help them acquire this knowledge to be active in this industry. And of course, the other ways, Vietnamese companies are already supplying foreign companies, and through this step, I think they can also get into this industry of wire cable. Yeah. So I think one strength, of course, of a wholly owned Vietnamese company would be maybe in labor costs, but also I think in management, because if you have a whole Vietnamese management, they know the country, their surroundings, and I think they are very good in supplying especially the Vietnamese market. Yeah? And from there you can build up a base to also supply foreign markets. Yeah.
Specialized technical workshop for wires and power cable industry, organized by Messrs. Düsseldorf Asia, in cooperation with German Industry and Trade, was held simultaneously in the two major cities of Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, during July 2015. The workshop, with the participation of 6 big names in wires and power cable industry in Europe, and hundreds of companies operating in this sector in Vietnam.
The seminar is part of a knowledge transfer. I mean, the cable manufacturing is strong here in Vietnam, but they have to do a quantum leap in terms of technological advance, and that part they can see at the show. And that's why the people are interested or should be interested to visit the seminar as well as later the show.
Many German brands like Nyhof, Knio, Sikora had existed in the Vietnamese market and were trusted by many Vietnamese companies in the wire and cable industry for the quality of their products. Moreover, these enterprises also cooperate with Vietnamese partners in technology transfer of modern production machines.
Trong mình nghĩ thì là Đức có một cái ngành công nghệ về dây và cáp điện thì rất là nổi tiếng trên thế giới. Có rất nhiều các cái hãng sản xuất của Đức cung cấp các cái thiết bị dây chuyền sản xuất cáp điện.
Tôi nghĩ rằng cái việc hợp tác trong thời gian vừa qua tôi cảm thấy rất là hiệu quả. Hiệu quả vì thứ nhất là Đức là một nước rất phát triển, đặc biệt là công nghệ chế tạo máy. Và họ cũng chuyển giao cho chúng tôi, đồng thời họ cũng hợp tác với tôi để mà làm sao để tạo được, để có một cái dây chuyền thiết bị hoạt động là với năng suất tốt và chất lượng đảm bảo và để cạnh tranh trong cái thị trường hôm nay.
Manufacture of wire and cable in Vietnam is accounted for a large market share. The development of this industry is supported and encouraged by the government's incentives policies for the production of energy-saving equipment, renewable energy mining equipment, development of science and technology courses, no emissions, and greenhouse gases, with preferential loans for the development banks, National Foundation for Science and Technology Development Fund, and National Technology Innovation Fund, etc. With these advantages, foreign enterprises, particularly German companies, are hopeful for upcoming opportunities to exchange business interest and partnership with Vietnam.
We work very closely with our friends from Germany. We combine our synergies, and we think that there is a very, very huge market available here in Vietnam. It's my third time I have been here, and every time I see a considerable progress going on, and we are here together with our German colleagues to offer the latest stage of technology to bring Vietnam further forward.
Partnering with Vietnamese companies has a huge potential, since your country is offering potential for infrastructure projects. As you know, we are building machinery for the wire and cable industry, and wires and cables are needed, for example, in infrastructure projects, which you have a lot, or also for trains. If you build once a high-speed train between Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, we have to supply with our Vietnamese partners a lot of cables. So this is why we are here.
As we can see, the outcome of these seminars has really boosted the interest of the German companies in partnering with the Vietnamese companies, especially in power cables industry. So what are the support that the German industry and commerce would provide for the partnerships between the Vietnamese and the German companies?
We are offering a whole range of services for German companies who would like to enter the Vietnamese market. We are supplying services like business partner search. We're also doing location studies. So we're on the one hand, we are providing this kind of service, and on the other hand, we're trying to establish a vocational education system built up on the German best practice. We have few companies that are already participating, but we are expecting very active development in this field. Yeah? And then also we are organizing events like this one, like the seminar, and we're also having delegations from Germany coming into Vietnam and the other way around. Yeah? Vietnamese companies also going to Germany.
And so as the outcome of these seminars that GIC have held in Vietnam, what do you expect for the partnerships between Vietnamese and German companies?
So we have Here we have many manufacturers of machinery for wires. In our opinion, this is machinery that right now is not available on the Vietnamese market. But by supplying this kind of machinery to Vietnamese companies, will put them into a position where they actually can produce wires, in this case, by themselves. So I think that transferring technology and know-how is the best way to help Vietnamese companies compete not only on the Vietnamese market but on the world markets.
As you have mentioned, the challenges that the Vietnamese companies have to face is that they have to import the parts and materials in order to manufacturing. So does the German partners thinking about maybe providing them with technical exchange so that the Vietnamese companies can independently manufacture these parts?
I think we hear often from German companies is they would like to source here in Vietnam, yeah? But in many fields, Vietnamese companies are not yet that far in their development. Yeah? So we tell them initially, so there's no product equal to what you want to buy here in Vietnam. Yeah? And then in the next step, the German companies will tell us, it's no problem. We will tell them how to produce this product. Yeah? And so they're actively transferring know-how, also sending Germans to Vietnam to show the Vietnamese companies how to produce certain goods in a way that they can be sold in Europe. Here in Vietnam, German companies, of course, see the labor costs, which are lower than, let's say, in China. But on the other hand, and that's the more important point in my opinion, is that they have the Vietnamese population in high regard. You have very well-skilled workers, high education. Everybody is, they have a strong mindset when working, yeah, and that is something Germans like most. Vietnamese people.
Vietnam also doesn't have a business association specifically for this industry yet. So how could we build on the linkage and synergies between companies?
One thing we see is that personal relations are very important in every industry. Yeah? So in our opinion, it would be, of course, an advantage if you brought people together. Yeah? The seminar is one point where you can bring people together, exchanging business cards, get to know each other, and this can be the beginning of new relationships, new partnerships in the industry, which in the end will result in a stronger, in this case, cable industry. We are supporting them on a day-to-day basis in this regard. So, of course, the German Industry and Commerce can help them. And on the other hand, we think just going to this kind of seminar or networking party would be a good thing, and then also communicating through the internet and in a ways that the foreigners can actually see Vietnamese companies would be an advantage.
And lastly, what are your recommendations for the Vietnamese government in order to boost the development of this industry in Vietnam?
We also think that right now the Vietnamese government is in a process to equitize state-owned enterprises. That is a very good step, which will of course increase possibilities for small and medium enterprises to compete in the market. And as you can see by Germany, in Germany SMEs are the engine of our economy. Yeah? And if you could get in a position where you can boost small and medium enterprises, that would help the economy in our opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Kolowski, for all your sharing today. And I hope that from the support of GIC, there will be more promising partnerships between Vietnamese and German companies, specifically in this field. And that's the end for Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching us. Any questions and recommendations, please email to sharingvietnam@netvittv.net. Thank you and see you again.